Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. Good morning, class. You are welcome back to Islamic College, Osogbo. This is another episode of our course, Business Studies, for the JSS3, third term academic section. Today we are moving down to our binary accounts. Binary accounts. What do we mean by binary accounts? Final accounts are the accounts that shows the financial position of every business organization. Final, when we say something is final, that is the grand root of every business organization. That the word final means the summary, the total, the running expenses of the trading profit and loss account and balance sheet. The final preparation of all the accounts involved in business organization is what we call final account. That's why we said final account simply means an account that shows the final financial of every business organization. That's the meaning of final account in a simple analysis. And this final account has some uses or purpose. What are the purpose of final account or the uses of final accounts? The use of final account is to determine the financial position of every business. To determine the financial position of every business. That's what we mean by final account for you. It also means to determine the strength and weakness of every business organization. And as well means a way of determining the profitability of every business setup. Every business setup. That's another use of final account, or purpose of final account. It also shows the lifespan of every business organization. That's final account for you. And this final account is subdivided into three, or types of final accounts. From here we move down to types of final accounts. Final accounts has three types, or could be subdivided into three categories. The first is trading account. That's one of it. The second one is a profit and loss account, while the last but not the least is the balance sheets. Those are the three types of final accounts. We have the trading accounts, we have profit and loss account, and balance sheets. Those are the three subdivisions of final account. Trading account now. Today we are going to discuss trading account proper. We are to discuss trading account, its uses of purpose, and as well as all the terminologies involved in trading account, all the terms related to trading accounts. Trading account. This is an account that shows the trading activities. It's an account that shows the trading, or defined as an account used to determine the trading activities of every business. That is an account used to determine the gross profit or gross loss of every business organization. This trading account is being run or governed by a sole proprietorship. A sole trader may use of trading accounts in his business or our business. So trading account can be defined as an account used to determine the gross profit and the gross loss of every trading activity or every trading exercise. That's trading account for us. That's trading account. The purpose or uses of trading account. The purpose or use of trading account is used to determine the gross profit or to ascertain the gross profit of every trading activities. Is as well used to ascertain the gross loss of every trading activities. So in every business organization, trading accounts can as well use to determine the net purchases of every business, of every trading activities. Likewise, the trading account is used to determine, or the purpose of trading account is to determine the net sales of every trading activities. The net sales of every trading activities. More so, trading accounts are used to determine the amount of goods sold, the cost of goods sold at a particular period of time, and as well used to determine the cost of sales, cost of goods that is available for selling, cost of goods that is available for sales at every business activities. That's all we have. These are some other things and what we have for the uses or purpose of trading account. The uses and purpose of trading accounts has many uses. Trading accounts has many uses and as well as serve many purposes to every individual that are running business. Sole proprietorship case study or sole trader, that is one man business, make use of trading account. Whatever material that you are purchasing, you are expected to make sales from what you purchase, that you are purchasing for reselling exercise. That's why we have purchases and sales. The purchase and sale may mention are some of the terms, are among the terms used in trading account. That's the purpose of or uses of trading account for us. Meanwhile, we have some terminologies in trading accounts. Terminologies in trading accounts. The terminologies in trading accounts are the opening stocks, the purchases, the sales, the return outward or return on purchases, the return inward or return on sales, carriage inward or carriage on purchases, closing stock, gross profits, gross loss, cost of goods sold, cost of goods available for sales. All these and some other things are terms used in trading accounts. When we say opening stock, the word opening stock means the stock at the closing year that are brought up to the following year. We make use of opening stock, the closing stock of last year, to determine the opening stock of this year. That's opening stock for a business or trading account. Another one is purchases. Purchases could be determined, or is also purchases could be determined or also termed as net purchases or actual purchases. Or these purchases means an amount of goods or services being purchased or bought by the sole trader or sole proprietors for further reselling to resell to sell to the people in retails. That's purchases for us. But before we determine our purchase, we have actual purchase and we have net purchase. Actual purchase is the total amount of goods bought to run our business for further resales. And this actual purchase, there are some things in actual purchase that have to be returned back to where we bought that goods. All these goods that are to be returned will be deducted from actual purchase before we get our net purchase. Some of the returns materials, we call it return on purchases or return outward. We can return our goods based on destroy. Our goods can get damaged as a result of withdrawal. Maybe the goods bought, we have excess of it in our custody already. We have to return it. That we call it good withdrawals. Good stolen. All these will be return outward, return outward, good destroyed, good stolen, goods withdrawn will be added together and deducted from actual purchase. By the time we deduct it from actual purchase, we have our net purchases. That's based on return outward. This is amount of goods returned on purchases as a result of either spoil, damage, destroy, or stolen or expired. So we return it on the from the amount of goods we bought or we purchased back to the customer or back to the sellers. That's purchases for us. Sales, this is the total amount of goods sold. This is the total amount of goods sold outside to people that need it for consumption or for usage purpose. And part of this goods sold can be returned back to us as well. It can be returned back to us. Then this good return back to us, we call it return inward or return on sales. We call it return inward or return on sales. The actual sales we made, the goods returned back to us will be deducted from the actual sales we made before we get our net purchase, our net sales. Sorry, before we get our net sales, we are going to deduct the goods returned back to us from the actual total amount of sales we've made during the period before we get our net sales. Meaning that returns on sales, return inward will be deducted from actual sales to have our net sales. And this sales is at the credit side of the trading account, the right hand side of the trading account, while the opening stock and purchase will be at the left hand side of the trading account. And this account is being run or governed or prepared by a sole trader to determine, to know the excesses he or she is making, either he or she is making surplus or loss in running the affair of his or her businesses. Another one is carriage on purchases. The carriage on purchase is determined by the sole proprietorship, that is the amount, the expenses spent on transporting the goods bought to the destination where the goods are needed for further resales, is what we call carriage on purchasing. This carriage on purchases will be added to net purchases. By adding it together, we have our cost of goods available for sales. By adding these two terms together, by subtracting return inward, goods stolen, goods withdrawn, goods destroyed from actual sales to have our net actual purchases to have our net purchases, then we add our carriage inward to it. By adding carriage inward to it, we have our cost of goods available for sales. Cost of goods available for sales. This net purchases together with carriage inward will now be added to our opening stock. Will be added to our opening stock. By adding it together, the grand total of those two items will give us our cost of goods available, cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. By determining our cost of goods sold, we now subtract cost of goods available for sales. So after adding that, we now subtract our closing stock for the year or closing stock for the period from cost of goods available for sales. You know, addition of opening stock and purchases and carrying inward will give us cost of goods available for sales, right? And we are now going to deduct closing stock from that items. So then we have our cost of goods available for sales. Cost of goods available for sales. The cost of goods available for sales will now be deducted from our net sales. From our net sales. But mind you, the excess of our net sales over the cost of goods sold will give us our gross profit. The excess of our net sales over the cost of goods sold will give us our net profit. Once again, the excess of our sales, our net sales, over the cost of goods sold determined in our workings will give us our gross profit. Likewise, reverse is the case. The excess of cost of goods sold over the net sales will give us our gross loss. Will give us our gross loss. Will give us our gross loss. Meaning that gross loss can simply be determined or simply be put as the excess of net sales over cost of goods sold. That's simple analysis on cost on a gross profit. By determining our gross profit, determination of our gross profit is the essence of cost of goods sold and the essence of net sales over cost of goods sold. That's our gross profit. And gross loss is the essence of cost of goods sold over the net sales. That's our gross loss. That's our gross loss. That's our gross loss. Like I've told you, like we have said earlier, that return inward is as well known as return on sale. Please do not forget. In case you come across it, another word for return inward is return on sales. Please do not forget. Likewise, another word on return outward is return on purchases. The goods sent back to you as a result of either damage or destroy, or as a result of excesses back to the business is what we call return outward. That is return on purchases of is what we call return inward. But the goods you sent out, the good is sent out as a result of maybe you have an excess of it in your hand, or as a result of either damage or destroy. The goods you now sent out back to where you bought those goods is what we call returned outward or return on purchases. So you are now going to deduct all those goods you sent out back to where you bought those goods from the actual purchase you've made before you get your net purchases. Please get it right, my students. Please try to get those two times right. Return on purchases is also known as return outward, while return on sales is also known as return inward. Get the two right. Get them right. They are very different. The two are different. One affects sales, the other affects purchases. Please bear that in mind. So by next week, inshallah, the formats and the preparation of trading account will be given to you. And in your notes, you are going to see all this explanation that I've said earlier, because this is just the summary of the notes we have. The note is a select type, and you are going to have access to it in your portal. Please, my dear student, always read your notes. Always read your book. Please read your book always. So make your education the first priority before other things. Please. And by next week, you'll be given assignment as regards this. Mind you, we have two formats in preparing trading accounts. The first format is T format. The first format is T format, while the second format is vertical format or columnar format. We call it vertical format or columnar format. The T format looks like letter T, while the columnar format is prepared horizontally. Inshallah, the two methods will be shown to you in your note. Subhanallah Rabbil Izzati amma yasifun, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. May Allah let this lecture be part and parcel of you, inshallah, and Allah increase your weight of understanding. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.